Is Democratic Congressman and Assistant House Democratic Leader, James Clyburn. Welcome to you, Mr. Assistant Leader. So I want to play for you what Republican Senator Mitt Romney of Utah had to say about this inquiry this morning to my colleague, Kristen Welker.
I don't see any evidence of that at all. I think before you begin an impeachment inquiry, you ought to have some evidence, some inclination that there's been wrongdoing. And so far, there's nothing of that nature that's been provided.
So are you opposed to the impeachment inquiry?
Well, if I were in the House, I'd vote against it, unless they were able to bring forward evidence that suggests that there were a high crime or misdemeanor that had been committed.
You know, Congressman, are any of your Republican colleagues who represent a district that Biden won in 2020 saying the same thing, or any of your Republican colleagues who have now announced that they're retiring?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I have not heard any of them be as, let's just say, conclusive about this as we just heard from Senator Romney. Many of them have expressed some reticence about it, but I have not seen anybody say anything conclusive. I would love to see them just say to the speaker, you got a 3-vote margin here, and you have got 8 or 9 people in this caucus who did, in fact, win in districts that were carried by Biden. And let's just be careful here. But I know what is going on here. They're looking for headlines, and they're throwing stuff up on the wall, hoping that something will stick. They're blaming a man, a father, for being helpful to his son. And that, to me, is just untoward. I don't know where these people are coming from. No facts, just innuendo. And if you're helping your son pay for a pickup truck or whatever that truck was, how is that impeachable?
It does not sound like a high crime and misdemeanor to me, sir. You know, there has been a lot of reporting in the last couple of weeks that a number of House Republicans say they need to impeach President Biden so that it's a 1-for-1 to say that, well, look, there was an impeachment inquiry and an attempt to impeach Biden, just like there was an inquiry and an impeachment of Donald Trump. What precedent do you think this could potentially set if this impeachment inquiry is actually authorized?
That's what I'm real concerned about, because there must be some kind of cause here. Just remember, in the impeachment of Donald Trump, there were facts laid on the table, and these facts were indisputable. He was impeached, maybe by a partisan vote, but the vote for conviction was bipartisan. It wasn't the 2/3 necessary for the eviction to carry the day in the Senate, but it did get Republican vote. And it's because people saw this as cause for impeachment, some saw it as cause for removal from office. So this could set a terrible precedent, but I'm just hoping that succeeding Congresses will not weaponize the impeachment process, but let it stay there and be used when it needs to be used, as it was with Trump and the threat of it in Nixon before him. Go all the way back to President Johnson in the 1860s. There was cause, and he was impeached, but not convicted, but he lost the next election.
How could this affect the ability to negotiate government funding in the new year? In January, there's funding that runs out, and then funding for additional agencies will run out on, I believe, February 1st.
It could very well get in the way. I think that the 19th of January, we ought to have this done by that deadline, but there's no reason for us not to do it before that. The things we're fooling around with now, this time could be used to have good, meaningful discussions about what kind of budget we ought to be approving for the coming year or for the year in which we're in. But also, we need to do what is necessary in Ukraine, in Israel, and at the border. None of this stuff can get done if we don't get to discussions on them, and we're not getting there. And this whole notion about Democrats not wanting to secure the border, check the record. And the record indicates that we have done that when we were in charge. We'll do it now while they're in charge if they stop the foolishness and sit down and have meaningful discussions about what we need to do to fund the war in Ukraine and in the Israel-Hamas difficulty as well as what is going on at the border.
Check the record. Just before we came on air, Assistant Leader Clyburn, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, it was announced that he will visit Washington, D.C. this week. He's going to meet with President Biden. He's going to meet with the Senate, and he will also now meet with Speaker Mike Johnson. All of this comes, as you just described, Republicans, they are now demanding a change in strategy when it comes to the border before supporting any of this foreign aid that we just discussed, whether it's Ukraine or even Israel. You said that the Democrats are willing to do what needs to be done. What border policy concessions, then, are you open to?
Anyone that we've had open discussions on. The representatives, Democrats and Republicans, who represent congressional districts on the border ought to be involved in this discussion. The White House has made it very clear that the president is willing to sit down and find the way forward as it relates to the border. And once again, as I said, if you check the record, you will see we had a great deal of success at the border under Obama. So Democrats aren't against securing the border. We are against violating our Constitution as well as ignoring humanity.
All right. Assistant Democratic Leader Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina asking his Republican colleagues to check the receipts. Thank you very much for your time today, sir.